some of the ladies, they are heavily makeup, and then the scarf.
Right.
Yeah, I want to know that's not in the Quran.
All right. You see, in the Holy Quran, all that is said is that the Muslim ladies should draw their head covers, pull the head covers also across their faces. Not faces, I'm sorry, across their breasts. The word face is not used there. Now, the interpretation varies regarding the meaning of how the covers are to be pulled. Some people say the head should be covered and the large part of the face should remain visible, and the rest of the chadar or the sheet they vary should be brought from here like this and put hanging on the front. So that would create a decent dress sort of, which would discourage the wanton eyes and say, look here, we are not available, you were honest, chaste ladies. So the message will be delivered and they will not find any problem. Some say no, it should be drawn like this, from in front. Now, if it is to be drawn like this in front, although I know many MD scholars whom I deeply respect have also taken this stance, but somehow I cannot bring myself up to full acceptance of this because it is not only the face they have to cover according to this verse. They have to draw it full length down to their navels, for instance. Now, how would that woman look like, and how would she be able to negotiate herself in day-to-day life if she has covered the whole length of like this, like this? It leaves no room for normal activities for any lady. So that is why I prefer that meaning that it should be drawn across your breast, but also it should cover a little bit of the chin as well, maybe. This is the interpretation also Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ as reported from his writings in Islami Usul ki philosophy, the teachings of Islam. Now despite this, I prefer those Pakistani Ahmadi ladies who have been using Pakistani style of veil, not a lengthily drawn head cover down to their knees or something, but a sort of easy, comfortable arrangement of covering their face like this, and down the lower part of the veil should be pulled across like this, so they can freely move about with eyes in the open. Right. I prefer them as yet to continue with that, because it is not only a question of interpretation, it's also a question of social problems. Always when the two generations meet, the transition from the habits of one generation to another is a very critical decision to make. If suddenly I tell all the Ahmadi ladies to throw away their head cover, the veils and covers, and only cover this like that I have explained, the message delivered to their future generation would be, we are free to do whatever you like. And they themselves would become suddenly very lax in their normal behavior. So it is a psychological problem and a social problem which I am facing. So I am gradually, slowly, cautiously bringing Ahmadi ladies to a custom of very strict observation to a more lax observation which is in line with the Quran and not against the Quran.
Right.
The other emphasis also has its roots in the Holy Quran, because regarding the wives of the Holy Prophet particularly, the Pardah we find described is far more strict. So their honor and dignity requires that they should not be available to the common sight. So that is why they did observe Pardah far more strictly. And it was perhaps handed down from them, which resulted in various types of head covers, strict and less strict and so on. So we have to find a via media wisely, which does not endanger the new generation from following an adopting an over-free attitude.
What about the makeup?
Pardon?
What about the makeup?
Men?
No. What about the
Makeup. Oh yes,
makeup?
that's very important.
Yeah.
There I have been always very consistent and very firm in my repeated reminders to the ladies that if they are lax in covering their face, they are only permitted it if they do not make up when they go out.
That's right.
Because on this, the Holy Quran is very specific.
Haram.
That do not make up, do not adorn yourself when you walk out in public.
That's right.
You see, do not show your zina.
That's right.
It also covers that.
That's in the Quran.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
So there I advise Ahmadis, all right, if you're professionals, you have to adopt a comparatively lax attitude of Pardah, go ahead and do it. But don't make up. Don't make an effort to attract people to your beauty, not only to your beauty, but to beauty added upon beauty.
It's a sin.
Right?
It's a sin.
No,
According to
yes,
the
of course.
Quran.
It is violation of the Quran, so it is a sin of sort, of course.
Yeah.
So then I point out to a strange contradiction between this teaching and the practices we have learned from Western style of life. Most of the makeup used today is built or made in America or Hollywood or here and there. They are following the fashion as dictated in the most modern style of life of the Hollywood girls and women, etc. The point is simply this. If you go out so beautifully adorned and well made up, and you do not cover yourself, you play havoc with the peace of every Tom, Dick and Harry. You are not cheap, we know, but you appear as if you were cheap. You are not cheap, but you appear as if you are available, while you are not available. So it is not at all a reflection on your chastity that I am referring to. The message delivered to the common people is, here is a beautiful girl walking in such style, wearing such beautiful dress and also made up on top of that. So maybe this attraction is not without meaning. This is the message which must not be delivered. So in the West what happens is, a lady, I'm not critical of the West as such, I'm just quoting a reality of life. And this is what the Orientals have also learned. Or maybe it is the West which learned this from the Orientals, I don't know. I'm not talking in the sense of division of the West and East, because this actually is a universal trend of ladies. I found it in my own house, everywhere in the world. In ordinary situations of how, in the houses, in the homes, they get up in the morning, you see them, and they're not shy, they're not ashamed. They feel confident and natural, the children see them, their husband, their brothers and sisters. But the moment you suggest to them, let's go out. Oh, look at, the look at disappointment. You mean like this? What do you mean? Wait, I'll take an hour for makeup and things. Without being made up, they don't go out. While the Holy Quran says their beauty is for their kin and kith. Not only for husbands, for their brothers, for their sisters, for their children, etc. They should adorn themselves and look beautiful to them. Because home is the center of peace in Islam. But if there they look horrible, all with disheveled hair and things, and when they walk out to the street, to the market, they look so beautiful and well made up, this is not Islamic. Exactly the opposite of Islam.